Hey guys, it's DC here. We're back with Hacker News and I've got a bunch of really good topics I wanted to go over, so let's jump straight in. So this article is new way to lose at poker card game domains infected with Magecart. So I'll get straight into the article here. Cyber criminals are upping the ante when it comes to compromising websites with Magecart payment card skimmers, as evidenced by the recent discovery of 2 infected domain user poker enthusiasts. Sucks to be them. Malwarebytes post this week identified the 2 affected web pages as pokertracker.com, and its subdomain pt4pokertracker.com. Both are related to software applications for poker players called Poker Tracker 4. The app itself is not Trojanized, however, its user interface displays the infected web pages, explained by this Malwarebytes employee. Therefore, players either using the app or visiting the poker websites directly were exposed. So if you do use Poker Tracker 4, then you probably would have seen this vulnerability pop up and, or exploit rather, and yeah, it's been infected, so I don't know how far in they've got, but maybe it says further down in this article. Both sites were observed using a version of Drupal content management network that was outdated and thus vulnerable to JavaScript injection. I thought it would have been SQL injection, but there you go. This allowed cybercriminals to inject the skimmer, which was specifically customized for the pokertracker.com, and attempted to exfiltrate data to the malicious domain ajaxclick.com. I like how they put brackets around the thing there so it doesn't get flagged as a link to a spam site or something like that by Chrome. This is the type of activity we are accustomed to with Magecart, although the fact that the site was running Drupal instead of Magento was a bit of a surprise. A little bit, but you can use Magecart to infiltrate a whole bunch of things. And that's why I thought it would have been SQL injection rather than JavaScript, but hey, whatever. So while the site has made improvements to the CSP, this move has its limits. Developers use CSP to enforce a whitelist of resources that a client browser can load resources from and sites that can interact with their site. However, such a list does not take into account the unknown third-party scripts these resources and sites bring in and allow to run on the site. Operators should therefore monitor the site for all scripts that run in order to ensure that those that are authorized are able to execute. So yeah, it's a pretty big one, I guess, because online poker is massive. And I don't know how many people are using this, but I'd say quite a few, to be honest. It seems like, well, it was big enough to make it into the news at least. So yeah, I thought it was a fun little news story to report on, but anyway, let's get to the next one. Google launches open source browser extension for ad transparency. Massive move if you like your privacy or like to know where your data is being used. So Google introduced a new initiative that it hopes will fight shady online advertising practices such as digital fingerprinting. This actually reminds me of a episode of, I think it was Swindled or Darknet Diaries, I can't remember. It was one of the most recent ones where a guy was using advertisement on porn websites to bring people in to then extort them for money and basically skim their credit card details and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he was using the advertisement on these different porn sites to get into that sort of information. So Google actually running this sort of software now to identify what's in advertisements is pretty cool. It's good for them. Anyway, Google is launching an experimental open source browser extension aimed at increasing transparency around online advertising by displaying information about the ads that are shown to users. So it sounds like they're using a version of AdBlock, but it won't block ads from Google. Dodgy. The browser extension is an integral part of a new Google initiative announced Thursday to develop a set of open standards dubbed Privacy Sandbox. The standards aim to help internet browsers strike a delicate balance between protecting web users' privacy while also ensuring that advertisers who collect browser-based data aren't being completely shut out. So yeah, if you use Google advertisement, so YouTube, Google, whatever it is, then your advertisement's pretty much definitely going to run. But they do some pretty good checks across their advertising partners to make sure that nothing dodgy is being advertised. So yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. That's a good one. But yeah, it's not going to stop advertisement. So if you just want to stop all advertisement, use AdBlock. Unless you're watching my videos, in which case, keep the advertisement running because I need to make some money off this. To aid with this dialogue and help explore the feasibility of this proposal, Google will launch an early experimental open source browser extension that will display information for ads shown to a user and will work across different browsers. Okay, cool. So yeah, like I said, it's ad block. If you want to block every ad, use ad block. If you think this one sounds cool and you want to watch some advertisement, but only Google authorized advertisement, go with this open source add-in for Chrome. Yeah, I guess it'll do the job. Next article. Unpatched Squid servers exposed to DOS code execution attacks. That's a cool little logo, isn't it? Multiple versions of the Squid web proxy cache server built with basic authentication features are currently vulnerable to code execution and denial of service or DOS attacks triggered by the exploitation of a heap buffer overflow security flaw. Okay. The vulnerability present in Squid 4.0.23 through to version 4.7 is caused by incorrect buffer management, which renders vulnerable installations to a heap overflow and possible remote code execution attack when processing HTTP authentication credentials. When checking basic authentication with HTTP header get auth, Squid uses a global buffer to store the decoded data. Okay, that's interesting. Squid does not check that the decoded length isn't greater than the buffer, leading to a heap-based buffer overflow with user-controlled data. That's not good at all. That's actually terrible. I can't believe they let that one through. Some unpatched servers exposed to attack. So here we go. We've got the biggest countries for this: United States, Honduras, interesting, Canada, Germany, Turkey, Brazil, Ireland, United Kingdom, Australia, and Lithuania in last place there for a number of unpatched Squid servers. So US, obviously it's hosting most of the servers here. Patch your damn servers, please. Otherwise, this buffer overflow is going to be exploited for you. There's a CVE here for it, if that means anything to you, which is CVE-2019-1252.7. Maybe it's a good idea to run that through your firewall system and potentially block anything if it already has automated CVE filtering. Otherwise, read the CVE and make the changes as appropriate, or just update your damn stuff. Next article. BitDefender Antivirus Free 2020 found vulnerable. And before I get started on this, I actually know someone who is using this antivirus and said to me yesterday that he had a virus, and he ended up paying for the paid version and seems to have, I think he's fixed the problem now. I'm not entirely sure. I've sort of lost the trail of that conversation in the heap of conversations. But yeah, this one actually exists because something got through. Anyway, a vulnerability has been found in BitDefender Antivirus Free 2020 that could allow an attacker to load unsigned code that could lead to privilege escalation. SafeBreach reported the main issue with the product is the code integrity guard mechanism is not enforced, allowing an attacker to load unsigned code. That's terrible. God damn. The danger here is particularly high, yeah, very much, because the software runs as an NT authority system, so it basically has privileged access to everything. The vulnerability gives attackers the ability to load and execute malicious payloads using a signed service. This ability might be abused by an attacker, for example, to achieve application whitelisting bypass for purposes such as execution and evasion. So what that means is if they do get a virus through your filter, which they could because they have admin access, so they would basically whitelist the services and sites and traffic that's going to flow from that virus, then they'll throw the virus on your computer and then it'll take over, and that's the end. SafeBreach reported the issue to BitDefender on July 17th, a while ago now. The company immediately responded and was able to confirm the issue by August 14th. 5 days later, BitDefender published an advisory and issued CVE 2019-15-29-5. BitDefender told SC Media that the issue was submitted by SafeBreach through the security firm's bug bounty program. So someone got paid for that, which is awesome. So they've apparently fixed it in the updated versions, but definitely something worth looking at if you are running BitDefender. Then maybe update it and see if, maybe run like malware bytes or something just in case to see if there's anything else happening on there. Next article, last one here, is from Bleeping Computer again. GitHub experienced widespread major services outage. So GitHub has made it back to the news yet again. Here we go. The GitHub Git repository hosting platform experienced a widespread and major services outage impacting the issues, PRs, dashboard, projects, and notifications features. GitHub offers its users the source code management and distribution version controlled functionality of the Git in the cloud without the hassle of configuring their own servers to host a Git installation locally. That's what GitHub is, yes. On top of the default Git features, GitHub also comes with team collaboration and access control features like task management and bug tracking. However, given that it's a cloud solution, the GitHub platform is affected once in a while by various issues impacting some or all of its features, directly affecting its users' capability of managing their Git repositories hosted on the platform. So here's the outage map, and seems like Japan, the UK and the US. At 10:59 UTC, the GitHub engineering team published an incident report on the platform status page saying that they are investigating reports of issues affecting a number of services. 1 hour later at 12:05 UTC, an update was published saying that work continues on the earlier identified issues. So basically they hadn't fixed it yet, but you know, things take time. After another 20 minutes, GitHub's engineering team resolved the issue. However, they did not mention in the incident report what was the cause behind this widespread outage. That's fine. They don't really need to report, and a lot of the time they don't report based on a whole bunch of legal proceedings behind that. But anyway, so that's the hacker news for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I hope you guys like this this little theme of going on here. I thought I'd put an overlay in for once and try and make this look a little bit nicer than just a recording of a camera. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Catch you later.
Just